Grab your tea and have a seat. Let's discuss politics, crime, celebrity gossip, investigative reporting. Welcome to The Real Tea with Double D on GSMC Podcasting Network, where I am black and the news is always petty as hell, but it's accurate.
Players, welcome to a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D. Of course, I'm your girl Double D, and we are on the GSMC Podcasting Network. So excited to be with you all to record a brand new episode. Listen, it's been a day, hasn't it? It's been a day for your girl indeed. I know it has, and I know another person it's been a day for. Frumpy to the motherfucking dub. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Now, y'all know we're going to get into all of those shenanigans, but we got to start this off with something else. But first, let me go ahead and get the pleasantries out the way. I want to thank you guys and welcome you to a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D. I really appreciate you all riding and flying with me every single week. Everybody out there in Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok and podcasting world. Thank you guys out there in podcasting world for downloading, streaming, when you're in your car, when you're working, when you're cleaning up on Saturday mornings. I really appreciate y'all for keeping this podcast on the featured podcast on Amazon. Every single time I upload my podcast, it is considered a featured podcast, which lets me know that you guys are downloading it. So thank you guys so much for listening to it and enjoying it and coming back every single week. And also thank you ones who join me live every single week. I don't get to interact with you guys as much as I would like to, because it's not fair to everybody out there in podcasting world, but I really love to see the comments, love to come back and read them. Andrea, thank you so much for being in the building. That's my girl. Really appreciate you for sending out those invites and getting people in every single week to watch and listen to The Real Tea with Double D. Now, y'all, we have a jam-packed show. And I'm not lying, because I added something right when I was preparing for this. Right at the end, after I was getting the kids in bed, I got a little another story to add to it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna lead the podcast with this story. I'm not gonna put it at the end like I would normally do, because I normally always talk about frump and dump first, but hey, we can get into that. I feel like this story right here really needs to lead the hour. So I did make a post on my Facebook page letting y'all know what it was. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea tonight. I am fueled by gangster rap and coffee. That is the mug for the night. And I'm drinking, it's just water. So y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into this first story. Baby, you about to get blown, honey. This right here is so disturbing. Y'all grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into it. So all day today, I had been hearing this story about this lady that escaped this center block room. And I was like, what is going on with this story? And right at the final hour, like I was just telling you guys, somebody sent me the story. And I was like, there's no way I can't cover this, because the FBI is actually looking for more victims. And who knows how far and wide this could go. So I thought I would go ahead and bring this over here to you guys, and we can kind of talk about it, and I can let you guys know what happened. This is terrible. So this guy, his name is Nagasi Zabari. He was actually arrested on July 16th in Nevada. Now, the crime was committed in Oregon, but he was arrested on July 16th. According to reports, he posed as an undercover police officer, kidnapped a woman in Seattle, drove her hundreds of miles to his home in Oregon, locked her in a cinder block cell until she bloodied her hands, breaking the door to escape. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. He is 29 years old, and he was arrested in, I believe it was, I know it's in Nevada, so I'm just going to say Nevada. He was arrested in Nevada hours after she escaped. They were able to track him down where he was at a Walmart with his children and his wife. And after a 45-minute standoff, they was able to arrest him, and they believe that this guy has more victims. They say that they know I'm not going to say for a fact, but they believe that he's linked to at least 4 victims, uh, um, assaults at this time. 4 victims right now that he's linked to, and that is not including the one that he took from Seattle, Washington, and drove her all the way to his home in Oregon. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So I have a picture of this cinder block room, and I'm going to put it up here so you guys can take a look. And they say that this lady actually dug herself out of this room by using her hands were all bloody. That was the she was able to break down that glass door that you see right there. Sorry, y'all can't see it on Tickety Talk. She was able to break down that glass door, claw through the sides, and she was able to go outside and free herself from this room. As you can see, it's a makeshift room, and it was in his garage. As you can see, it was made out of cinder blocks. It's got something on the top of it, complete cinder block room with a door. It had a couple of doors on it, and somehow this lady was able to free herself from this room after she had been there for several hours. Now, let's get into the complaint. So, according to reports, Zabari saw a woman. He picked her up, and she was actually a ex-worker. A Uchi Kuchi La 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 worker. He showed her a badge and told her that he was an undercover police officer. He pointed a stun weapon at her and then placed her in handcuffs, leg irons, before putting her in the back of his vehicle. He then drove the woman to his home in Oregon, stopping along the way. Now, let me back up. This occurred in Seattle, Washington. So he drove from Oregon to Seattle, Washington, found this woman who was a Uchi Kuchi La 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 worker, and then he did these things. He drove the woman to his home in Oregon, stopping along the way to take advantage of her. When they arrived about 7 hours after he first encountered her in Seattle, he put her in the makeshift cell he had built in his garage. It was a cinder block cell, the one you see on the screen, with a door with metal bars, and said that he was leaving to do paperwork. The woman said that she briefly slept and awoke to the realization that she would likely die if she did not attempt to escape. So she started punching the metal doors, broke some of the welded joints, creating a small opening in which she climbed through. This is according to the Klamath Falls police captain, Rob Reynolds. He said when she was trying to escape the cell herself, she repeatedly punched the door with her own hands. She had several lacerations on her hands and along her knuckles. The victim, once she escaped the room, she then saw Zabari's vehicle parked in the garage. She opened it, grabbed his weapon, and then took off, leaving blood on the wooden fence. She climbed over to escape. She flagged down a passing driver who called 911. Now, when the police got to his home, he had already escaped and was on his way to Reno, Nevada. Now, 2 Nevada State patrol officers, tracked down Zabari's car at a Walmart. Parking lot in Reno the next day. He was in his car holding one of his children in the front seat while talking to his wife, who was standing outside the vehicle. He initially refused to get out of the car, and when the officers asked, and instead he cut himself with a sharp object and tried to destroy his phone, according to the complaint. But he did eventually surrender and no one was harmed. Again, his wife was standing outside of the vehicle when the police initially approached Zabari to take him down. Now, according to the complaint, investigators interviewed Zabari's wife and neighbors. Authorities declined to say if there was any indication that any of them had been aware of the Seattle woman's abduction. Investigators said that when they searched Zabari's home and garage, they found the makeshift cell, the woman's purse, and handwritten notes, which I have a copy of this handwritten note. One of these notes says, Operation Takeover, leave phone at home. Make sure they don't have a bunch of people in their life. You don't want any type of investigation. And here is another note, and I'm going to try to read it here. As you can see, it's a drawing of some sort, and it says, dig a hole straight down 100 feet. That's what that other says. So apparently he wanted to make this makeshift cell down in the ground. If you could look at this picture and what he wants. If you guys want to see over here on Tickety Talk, y'all can come to my YouTube if you guys want to see the visual, my YouTube or my Facebook page. But Pagan, if you'll put that in the comments for me, I'd appreciate it. But anyway, so that is what happened in that situation. As of right now, that is what we know. Now I do have some from the police chief, and they held a press conference, and I'll let you guys take a listen to that.
On the day in question, our investigators had made contact with the victim, and what happened is we learned that she was from Seattle, Washington, and that she had been abducted up there. The suspect had transported her down to Klamath Falls, Oregon, which is probably about a 7-hour drive from Seattle, give or take. And during that time, she was also sexually assaulted. Also during that time, she was taken to a residence in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where there was a makeshift cell, if you will, and he had actually locked her in there for a couple hours at least until she realized that she needed to get out of that residence because her life was in danger. And she took the substantial steps to force her way out of that cell, and then she ran out into public, flagged down the first vehicle she could find, and then she was taken to safety. Then 911 was called, and then when we responded to help her. We learned that what happened during that time, planes. During that time, the officers learned that she had gone through quite a great ordeal. There's potential of additional victims out there. We're asking today for people to come forward that might had contact with Mr. Boebert during contact. Obviously not just in our jurisdiction, but from all over the country, wherever he lived previously. We do know that it's an active investigation. We can't say too much, but what we like to say is that the victim, if she didn't do what she did, we wouldn't be here today, and Mrs. Boebert would not be in custody. So I want to personally thank her for her bravery of what she did to get through that ordeal and get to where she needed to be today. We do want to also let you know that there are also victim services that the FBI is going to be providing on their website, and that information will be provided to you shortly, and that we want to make sure that any additional victims come forward, that those services are going to be provided to them and that are going to be taken care of. With that.
Thank you,
All right, so I mean, this is just it's just so disturbing. So this man, let me put his picture back up here so y'all could take a look at him. Like I said, he's been linked to about 4 assaults as of right now, not counting the female that was that escaped from his from his chambers or his makeshift. I mean, this is just really disturbing. It's so very sad. So according to them, this guy, court records, he was indicted on the charges, and court records do not list an attorney who might speak on his behalf. He hasn't been assigned a public defender in Oregon yet, as he's still being transferred from Nevada, which can take several weeks. A grand jury in Portland on Wednesday returned an indictment charging Boebert with interstate kidnapping and transporting an individual across state lines with the intent to engage in criminal activity. He could face life in prison if convicted. Now, according to the FBI, this guy has also went by several aliases and lived in at least 10 states since 2016. And those states include California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Alabama, and Nevada. And he went by several different names, and I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly. Sakima, Justin Heitch, and Justin, and I know I'm not going to say that right, Kouassi. It is Kouassi. So y'all make your own assumptions of that. So yeah, this guy, again, he's been linked to at least 4 assaults as of right now, and that's not included the victim that escaped. Thankfully, thank God she escaped from that situation, and this guy has been taken into custody. He had a wife and a couple of children that he had with him when he decided to leave so abruptly. I mean, I don't know if the wife knew. Someone asked that in the comments. They did not indicate if the wife knew. Now, if she did, I'm sure we'll know more about that in the coming weeks, especially once he is extradited back to to Oregon to face those charges. I'm pretty sure there'll be some type of probable cause affidavit or something that we'll be able to look at and get to learn a little bit more. But this is all we know as of right now. So again, if you know this guy, had any contact with this guy, make sure you contact the FBI. They are looking for more victims at this time. Again, that's in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where this incident took place. And he has been living in at least 10 states since 2016, spanning all over the United States, honey. I mean, it's ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. All right, players. This is so very scary, and I want you guys to make sure that you are being safe. Make sure that you're traveling in groups and taking care of yourself and protecting yourself, and have something to protect yourself at all times. All right, players. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, because we're going to go ahead and move along. All right, players. So of course, y'all know, I wasn't gonna let it ride. Y'all know I couldn't do that. I can't let it ride, honey. I got to talk about frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Now, y'all know that's the first thing I typically talk about, but I went ahead, I decided to switch it up tonight. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about something else, but I got to get into this indictment, honey, because these co-conspirators, while John Eastman running around here talking about he go stand by frumpy to the motherfucking dump, baby, he better go ahead and turn state's evidence, because if he don't, baby, he could very well end up behind bars, because they saying that Jack Smith is not done. And I don't believe that he's done. I believe that he did not add these people to this indictment because he definitely wanted to see what was going to come out in the Washington arrangement. Was they going to go ahead and try to cooperate? And since John Eastman has already issued a statement saying, hey, I'm not going to cooperate, I'm going to stick by frumpy to the motherfucking dump, then baby, that means it's open season on the co-conspirators, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack, baby. I'm here for it all. So, as we know, honey, Frumpy Dump has been indicted on a plethora of charges, honey. We are looking at 4 charges: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and also conspiracy against rights. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. It's ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess, honey. Like I told somebody earlier today, the First Amendment protects Frumpy Dump, protects his right to lie. I mean, he can lie all day, but what he cannot do is disenfranchise voters. And that's exactly what these charges are about, honey. They are about the fact that he disenfranchised voters and tried to defraud the United States with his lies by trying to stay in power. And baby, the United States is not going to have it. I don't care whichever way you was going to slice it. Frumpy Dump was going to have to be held accountable for this. I don't care how much precedent it sets, and if you want to say it's a negative precedent, because anybody with a half a pre-brain is going to say, hey, this is setting precedent, but it's setting good precedent, because it's letting future presidents know that if you lose an election, you can't go and commit an insurrection against the United States just so you can stay in power and then run around here and still have security detail. That's the precedent that is setting. Somebody was going to have to be held accountable for that. Now, not only was thousands of people been convicted by the Justice Department for their crimes on January 6th, but they had to get the ace in the hole. They had to get frumpy to the motherfucking dump. And there was absolutely no way that they was going to let this slide on by. I don't care who the president was. They was not going to let this slide on by. So this conspiracy to defraud applies to Frumpy Dump's repeated widespread efforts to spread false claims about the November 2020 election while knowing that they were not true, for allegedly attempting to illegally discount legitimate votes, all with the goal of overturning the 2020 election, honey. Also, the conspiracy to obstruct is an obstructed official proceeding was brought due to the alleged organizing, planning of Frumpy Dump and his allies to disrupt the Electoral College vote certification on January 2021. Now that leads us to Pissy Pence, because many people were wondering what Pissy Pence was going to do. Oh, y'all know I got the show The Fly. Anytime I put Pissy Pence up, it's gonna be with The Fly. So many people were wondering, what is Pissy Piss going to do? Is he going to stand by Frumpy Dump? I mean, he's running for president against him. Is he going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help him God? Well, it looks like he told nothing but the truth, so help him God, honey, because he kept some very detailed notes. And today, when Pissy Piss was asked about Frumpy Dump, and he was actually on 4 News, when he was asked about this, baby, he called his attorneys crackpots, and he went in. Y'all go ahead and take a listen to what Pissy Piss had to say, honey, because when I tell you he wasn't playing, he wasn't playing.
On this point, it wasn't just that they asked for a pause. The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes, which would have resulted in the issue being turned over to the House of Representatives, and literally chaos would have ensued. So let's be clear.
Not crackpot, baby. He said his crackpot attorneys. I thought maybe he had been listening to me for a little bit and he was gonna say Cracker Jack box. Baby, if he would have said Cracker Jack box, I would have clutched my invisible damn pearls. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So Pissy Piss, they say he took very detailed notes, and Frumpy Dump was definitely putting a lot of pressure on him, calling this man hours and hours a day, even on Christmas. Pissy Piss could not get away from this man. He called Frumpy Dump to wish him Merry Christmas. Hell, the next 2 minutes into the phone call, 2 seconds into the phone call, after he done said Merry Christmas, Frumpy Dump talking about overthrowing the talking about him not certifying those electoral college votes. And Pissy Piss said that he told him, I cannot do that. And you know that I cannot do that. So Pissy Piss is holding his own, honey, and he is standing steadfast on this. And he's actually, in my opinion, going to be a star witness in this case. And that's not going to be good for Frumpy Dump, especially since Pissy Piss was one of the closest ones to him, and he was actually trying to get Pissy Piss to do things out in the open. Everybody knows that he was trying to pressure Pissy Piss to not certify that election. So, I mean, that doesn't look good for him as well. Also, we're going to talk about the allies. Now, as we know, honey, there are 6 co-conspirators listed on this indictment, honey, but they don't have any names. Now, of course, NBC and CNN and all these people have gotten together and kind of tried to figure out exactly who these people are. Now, you can kind of line out like who they are based on some of the stories and some of the things that we learned during the January 6th Select Committee hearings. You can kind of line those things out. Human Skidmark Giuliani is co-conspirator number 1. John Eastman is co-conspirator number 2. Sidney Powell is, let me put allegedly in there, allegedly, because we don't know for sure. Allegedly, Sidney Powell is co-conspirator number 3. Jeffrey Clark is co-conspirator number 4. And Ken Chesbro is co-conspirator number 5. Now, there are 6 co-conspirators. The 6th one is unclear. Now, it's some kind of political consultant, and it could very well be, and a lot of people have been speculating, it could be Jenny Thomas, because that's Clarence Thomas's wife. We did learn that Jenny Thomas was one of the ones that was calling Arizona, sending emails. She was very close with Jason Miller, exchanging text messages with him. And in that indictment, it talks about emails that were exchanged and phone calls that were exchanged with this co-conspirator and those election officials in Arizona. So it very well could be Jenny Thomas, but we don't know at this time. I'm pretty sure we'll find out sooner or later when it comes out in the washing and arranging exactly who those co-conspirators are, especially if they decide not to cooperate. John Eastman has said that he is not cooperating. We haven't heard anything from the others, but John Eastman definitely said that he's not going to cooperate. I want to say Human Skidmark did, but I'm not exactly sure about that. So I'm just going to say allegedly. Okay. So, these co-conspirators in the indictment, the only one in this indictment, and if this person isn't listed or we don't think that this person is a co-conspirator, was Jason Miller, who was Frumpy Dump's chief White House counsel. He was actually saying, hey, Frumpy Dump, this election was not stolen. We have nothing to prove. We've lost in December. He actually said we've lost 32 lawsuits already. We have no evidence to back up any of these claims that you all are saying, but you continue to say them. He kept trying to drum it into Frumpy Dump's thick skull that it was not stolen, but Frumpy Dump just continued listening to people like Human Skidmark Giuliani, John Eastman, Sidney Powell, Jeffrey Clark, and Kenneth Chesborough. It's damn ridiculous and a hot boo boo shitty mess. Many of his own election officials was telling them that it was not stolen. So as this situation is let me get into this one here. So speaking of the co-conspirators, Frumpy Dump is the only person who is charged, and he is the only defendant in the latest indictment. But the court documents have in several co-conspirators, like I said, that could face potential charges. Now, that other charge that Frumpy Dump is facing is called conspiracy against rights, and it is a Civil War era law that applies to Frumpy Dump and his co-conspirators' alleged attempts to oppress, threaten, and intimidate people's right to vote. Now, y'all know that law actually dates back to the KKK era. Now, that was a law that was actually used to charge members of the KKK. It was a member of the KKK who built a cross, wrapped it in sheets, soaked in gas and oil, and instructed two others to set ablaze in front of the home of a Mexican and Puerto Rican descendant. Also a social media influencer who spread misinformation aimed at preventing people from voting. And now Frumpy Dump. Those are the two that have faced that particular, those are the three that have faced that particular charge since that charge has been in existence. And it's actually the statute is section 241 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, and it was originally adopted as a part of the Enforcement Act of 1870. It was the first in a series of measures known as the KKK Acts, designed to protect rights guaranteed by the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, collectively called the Reconstruction Amendments. Sections 241 makes it a crime to conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person exercising a right protected by the Constitution or the federal law. Frumpy Dump, I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So Frumpy Dump is facing an uphill battle in this situation. They have a lot of evidence, and these co-conspirators could flip any second. And once they start flipping, honey, all these plans that the GQP got, baby, it's gonna go down the window, go right on out the window, around the corner and to the left. I want y'all to listen to the privileged pervert Matt Gaetz get on here and basically get on Annalise Keaton's internet and basically talk about obstructing official business of the Justice Department. Listen to what he said. I declare it's a disgrace.
Carl, I want to discuss that. First, House Republicans should immediately demand that Jack Smith present himself for a transcribed interview before the Judiciary Committee in the next 15 days. If he does not do that, we should send a subpoena. If he ignores the subpoena, we should hold him in criminal contempt of the Congress so that he is the first prosecutor in American history to be prosecuting a case while himself under criminal contempt. And if Merrick Garland doesn't enforce that criminal contempt, then we ought to impeach Merrick Garland. And by the way, while we're doing all of that, to showcase how political and indeed dirty this has all become, we can utilize congressional immunities to immunize President Trump. 18 USC 6002 subpart 3 gives any committee or subcommittee of the Congress the ability to subpoena a witness, bring them in, and functionally immunize them. And if we are not going to stand up for Congress's equities when it comes to election interference, when it comes to misuse of the DOJ, this is all an effort to try to distract us from the very real crimes committed by Hunter and Joe Biden. It's
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. The privileged pervert. You are so dumb. Two more videos I want y'all to listen to, and these people and what they describe should happen. And then I'm going to give my thoughts on what these guys are really saying. Take a listen to Ron DeSantis.
But one of the things I mentioned in that statement I think is important to point out, the reality is a Republican, a D.C. jury would indict a ham sandwich and convict a ham sandwich if it was a Republican ham sandwich. I think Americans need to be able to remove cases out of D.C. I think the juries are stacked. I think that they're going to want to convict people that they disagree with. or at a minimum, you should be able to draw a jury pool from across the entire country. That is really what's at stake in terms of, do we have a single standard of justice, or do we have a track of justice where if you're connected to the swamp, you get off, whether it's Hunter Biden, whether it was the guy Durham tried to prosecute, or are we going to live under a single rule of law? And I think we have to reestablish.
We were doing our role. We were not rubber stamping states that we saw massive irregularities in the voting, where tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of ballots were mailed out illegally. It is illegal for states to change election laws. That is something, for the federal government to change election laws, or secretaries of state or rogue judges. It is up to the state legislature, and that did not happen. And so we objected to several states who did exactly that. They changed their state election law, and the Constitution says it's the state legislature that changes those. And that is why we objected. There was nothing illegal, certainly nothing for President Trump to be indicted over. But now
I want you to listen, just kind of remember and recall back to what all these people are saying. None of these people, with the exception of Lauren Bobblehead, because she did say that in the end that there's nothing that he would be indicted over. None of these people are saying that Frumpy Dump is not guilty. That is if you put together all of the people that are trying to rebut this and say that there's something wrong, they're attacking the judge, they're attacking Jack Smith, they're attacking Merrick Garland, but none of them are saying that Frumpy Dump is not guilty and he's being wrongfully prosecuted. They're not saying any of that. They're saying that this is a political persecution. They're doing this because, hell, Frumpy Dump isn't even saying that he's innocent. He's saying that this is an election interference, that people are trying to interfere with the election. They're not saying that Frumpy Dump is not guilty, and there is an issue with that. There is a very big problem with that, and I don't understand why nobody sees that this is damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess. They're attacking the judge at this point, honey, who just happens to be a very beautiful black woman, honey, and they are attacking her, saying that she's a Frumpy Dump hater already. They don't even know the lady, and she's a Frumpy Dump hater. She was appointed by Barack Obama in 2014. She's highly qualified. She was confirmed in a 95-0 vote. That means that every member of the Senate actually voted to confirm her. She received her bachelor's degree in economics from George Washington University and graduated from the University of Pennsylvania Law School. She worked in private practice 3 years before joining the D.C. Public Defender's Service, where she worked as a trial lawyer, and she also worked in private practice, where she specialized in litigation in white-collar criminal defense for 12 years. Now, the reason why they're saying this about this judge is because Judge Chutkan is very tough, has been given tougher sentences than requested by the Justice Department for a number of January 6th defendants. She's citing the necessity of consequences for taking part in an insurrection. She said there have to be consequences for participating in an attempted violent overthrow of the government beyond sitting at home. She also denied Frumpy Dump's 2021 emergency motion to stop the National Archives from turning over his administrative records to the January 6th Select Committee. So they are attacking this lady, but meanwhile, Jack Smith and those who need to make it do when they need to make it do what it do, they make it do what it do. Let's talk about Matthew DePierno. Nobody's talking about him, honey, but he was actually the most recent Republican nominee for Michigan attorney who worked with Frumpy Dump's team to try to contest the 2020 loss in the state, was arraigned yesterday on state charges for alleged efforts to unlawfully gain access to voting machines. DePierno has been charged with undue possession of voting machines, willfully damaging a voting machine, and conspiracy. Investigation into election interference are ongoing elsewhere as well, also in Arizona Georgia, of course, we know we have investigations there. And this guy who is a frumpy Dante sniffer, you see him at a Save America rally, was actually indicted and he was charged and he has pled not guilty. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. All right, players. I done spent way too much time on that. We're going to go ahead and move on, honey, because I don't want to keep y'all here all night. And I got more stuff I want to discuss. We're going to go ahead and move on to human skid mark Giuliani, because, baby, when I tell you this is ridiculous, who child? And make sure you got you a little bag or something, because you might throw up when I get into this. Human skid mark, human skid mark, human skid mark. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So y'all know and y'all remember that last May, human skid mark Giuliani's personal assistant filed a sensational $3.1 million federal lawsuit alleging that the human skid mark Giuliani forced her to perform slapping on the knob on him, used her to help him recruit people to pay millions of dollars for pardons, and instructed her to lie to the FBI. Now, of course, human skid mark has adamantly denied the allegations, but baby, now there's tapes. I declare. What a disgrace. Noelle Dunfrey claimed that she was hired by Human Skid Mark in 2019, and she rapidly became his date as he traveled to political and business events. Since the filing of the lawsuits, hundreds of pictures have surfaced showing her with him, showing her with Human Skid Mark in the company of Frumpy Dunn's family members, B-list celebrities, and politicians like Pissy Pence. Now, a transcript of the audio tapes was acquired by Business Insider, and they paint a sordid and disgusting picture of Frumpy Dump's former lawyer. In particular, creepy part, Rudy Human Skid Mark Giuliani said, and I'm going to need y'all to clutch your invisible damn pearls. He said to this lady on tape, and she recorded it, I can't help but think about you. I can't think about you or I get hard. Never again, I never think about a girl being smart. If you told me a girl was smart, I would often think she's not attractive. He said when he thinks about her, he gets the woody. Wait, but wait, there's more. Human Skid Mark Giuliani. God, I wish I had this on the screen. Human Skid Mark Giuliani says, and this is the transcript of the tape. Come here, big TITS. I'm going to substitute that word for Hootie McBoob. Come here, Hootie McBoob. Come here, Hootie McBoob. Your Hootie McBoobs belong to me. Give them to me. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. These are my Hootie McBoobs. I'm not lying. It's in the transcript. I'm not fucking lying. These are my. Then Noelle says, "Oh yeah." Human Skid Mark replies, these Hootie McBoobs belong to me. Nobody can get near these, okay? I don't care if they're flirting or they give you business cards. These Hootie McBoobs are mine. You got it? Then Noelle replies, yes. Then Human Skid Mark says, understand, I'm very effing possessive. I've gone easy on you. Noelle says, I don't know. Human Skid Mark says, I've been easy on you. Noelle says, you're pretty tough on me. Human Skid Mark says, I've been easy on you. Give them to me. And Noelle says, maybe. Cha, I can't. I can't do it. I can't take this. Baby.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So so this part here is a part of the lawsuit, honey. This is where she alleging that human skid mark was taking advantage of her. Now I don't know if this part makes her look bad or make him look bad. Was she forced to do these things or say these things? I don't know. But baby, I'm gonna read a little bit of it one more time. Then we got to move on. Come here, Hootie McBoob. Human Skid Mark says, come here, big Hootie McBoobs. Come here, big Hootie McBoobs. Your Hootie McBoobs belong to me. Give them to me. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. I want to claim my Hootie McBoobs. These are my Hootie McBoobs. I declare it. What a disgrace. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. If you can, we're moving on. All right, players. So we're gonna go ahead and move on here to Marjorie Musty, to the Must Pop Marjorie. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So y'all know that Marjorie Taylor Greene has long been linked to Nick Fuentes, a white supremacist. And baby, according to reports, according to an investigation and reports, Musty Marjorie actually had Nick Fuentes on her payroll. According to reports, Marjorie Taylor Greene has tried to condemn right-wing troll Nick Fuentes, calling him racist and immature last year. But despite her best efforts, she just can't seem to distance herself from his white supremacy. According to the new investigation by the Southern Poverty Law Center, Marjorie Taylor Greene had one of Fuentes' cronies on her payroll throughout 2022 into 2023. Lance W. Smith was deeply embedded into Fuentes' movement while receiving payments from Musty Marjorie's campaign, honey, and that payment was $55,000. It was shown. It was showed in the FEC filings, and it was paid for creative direction and podcast production. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. If you're surprised by that, then you got to be. I don't know, honey. You must be living under a rock. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. We need to move on. Now, the other day on my story, I told you guys that I thought it would be very interesting, and I felt like it was going to come out in the Washington Ranch, and I didn't know if it was going to happen. But we got to revisit Carlee Russell for a second. As we all know, Carlee Russell has turned herself in. She bailed out. She was charged with 2 misdemeanors. Now, like I told y'all on my TikTok story, that I was thinking that someone was going to introduce a piece of legislation that makes it a felony for you to make false reports to authorities in Alabama. And according to reports, honey, this right here is going to happen sooner than later. The bill would include stiffer prison sentences and mandatory restitution requirements for the full cost of resources expended by law enforcement agencies during a fake abduction. An Alabama lawmaker plans to introduce legislation that will make faking an abduction a felony after Carlee Russell went missing in July and reported that she was missing. She was only charged with 2 misdemeanors. He said in a statement that this fictitious kidnapping caused fear and shock, not only throughout the legislative district I represent, but also throughout the state and nation. So he said that he would be introducing this. He said that individuals who concoct and carry out sham kidnappings and lead our law enforcement officers on wild goose chases must be given severe penalties for the deceptive action. Now, the bill says the bill will include substantial prison sentences and mandatory restitution requirements for the full cost of resources expended by law enforcement agencies during the hoax. Now, people are saying that Now, if Carlee Russell is convicted, she could only face a fine, but they will be seeking the investigative costs expended during her disappearance. Now, most people are for this, but some have been saying that it may have some repercussions to it. According to a legal expert, he said that people steal and know it's a felony. People shoot and know it's a felony. So making it a felony doesn't necessarily stop people from doing it. When people commit crimes, they rarely think of the penalties of what that crime entails. All right, players, y'all sound off in the comments. Let me know what you were thinking. I was wondering if they was gonna call it Carlee's Law. Honey, if they did that, I just don't know what I would do. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. We're moving forward. All right, players. So, of course, we got to talk about Florida tonight, honey. And what we're going to be talking about is the book banning that is going on in Florida. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. If you see this on the screen, this is books that have been banned in a certain school district in Florida, and they just keep on going, honey. And a few weeks ago, this man actually wrote in and stated that he submitted the form and he wanted Arthur's birthday to be banned. I don't know if y'all know who Arthur is, but I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day when you can learn to work and play and get along with each other. Oh, yes, honey. He wanted to get Arthur's birthday banned. His name is oh my goodness, I had his name, Mr. Bruce Friedman, and he wanted to get Arthur's book banned. So he submitted this, and he stated that it's not appropriate to discuss Spin the Bottle with elementary school children. This book is found in most all schools. I guess he's saying Spin the Bottle is not okay for K through 5 students. I don't know if y'all know what Spin the Bottle is, honey, but in that book, Francine gave Arthur the Spin the Bottle game for his birthday. And that's a game where you're sitting in a circle with your friends, you spin the bottle, and then you go and kiss whoever the bottle lands on. So this guy was very, very upset. But what I found about Bruce whenever I was looking up information about him is that he has been very active in trying to get a lot of books banned in Florida. I want y'all to take a listen to what he feels about banning books.
Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. This is amazing that you were just simply reading a book from a school library and they cut off your microphone.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to spread the word about this item.
Tell us about
book that I intended to read was not necessarily deemed pornographic by the Board of Ed. The lawyer called it such, and he immediately shut off my mic, citing FCC regulations because he wanted to control the narrative. Well, that's kind of run away from him now, so let's control the narrative. This book is one of many, hundreds in my opinion, that need attention. They don't necessarily need to be removed. There's certainly not, I'm not looking to ban books or burn books. It's not Kristallnacht. I want them removed from children's access points. All the public libraries are okay. They can have an adult section. There's free speech, a First Amendment, have any book you want. In the school libraries, how about we have books that are appropriate for children?
All right, so that was him, and the Family Research Council actually shared that video as a testament to Bruce Friedman's work in getting those books banned, those inappropriate books banned in Florida. Now, I don't know if y'all remember who the Family Research Council is, honey, but I bet when I put this up, honey, you're going to remember the conservative Family Research Council, and who was working for them, Josh Duggar. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. So this guy was on a crusade being highlighted by the Family Research Council, who employed Josh Duggar. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. And he was trying to get Arthur's birthday banned. Well, the Florida district has decided to place the book back on shelves. He was actually the only one to have a problem with it. The Clay County School District Oversight Committee found that Arthur's birthday does not violate any state school board laws. They did take the book out for about 4 weeks, but after taking several weeks to look over the book and decide whether Spin the Bottle was appropriate for K through 5 children, they decided to put it back on the shelf. Ridiculous. All right, players. We got one more for the night, and I don't really want to do. This is not a play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This is just a story I wanted to tell you all. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat because we're about finished. All right, players. So tonight I ran across this story and I thought that I would bring it over here to you guys. This 87-year-old woman, Miss Marjorie in Brunswick. Where's Brunswick? In Brunswick, she actually fed an intruder peanut butter crackers and was able to call the police. She beat the shit out of the intruder. The intruder said that he was hungry. She gave him peanut butter crackers, and she was able to get call the police on the intruder and get the intruder out of her house. Y'all go ahead and take a look at this video. She is just too cute to me, and baby, this is a strong 87-year-old woman to think of that and also beat the shit out of him.
I grabbed my chair, and he grabbed me by the shoulders and pushed me against the wall and so forth. So I took my chair and I kept hitting him.
Having had enough of Marjorie's beating, she says the young man headed for the kitchen.
He said he was very hungry, so I gave him crackers and peanut butter.
While he was eating, Marjorie took the chance to call police. The intruder inside her home on Beverly Drive, police say, is a juvenile who is staying just a few blocks away.
You just don't think it's going to happen in your neighborhood, and here it is. So it's surprising.
The incident shocking those who live nearby. Looking over her home after, Marjorie says the young man must have got in through this back window.
And this was pushed way over.
No doubt a terrifying experience. But Marjorie says there's no need to have sympathy.
Don't sit and cry about it. If it comes up again, do it again. Be ready to kick and then pick up a chair and hit somebody with it.
I just thought she was adorable. Don't sit around and cry about it. Do something about it. I just thought she was adorable, and I'm so happy that she was able to get this intruder off. Now they say that this was a young kid, and she actually recognized him when he was 10 years old. He lived right around the corner from her. When he was 10 years old, he actually mowed her lawn. And they believe that the child is like 17 years old that did this. But she whooped his ass and then fed him some cheese and some peanut butter and crackers and then called the officers of the goddamn law. I mean, and she got out unscathed. I'm so glad to hear that she's okay. And that little 17-year-old, honey, I don't know what he was going through in his life, but I'm just glad that this lady came out okay. And also she had a story to tell, and she told it so cutely. Wasn't she cute, y'all? She just made me smile. I had to bring that story over here. One more, y'all, real quick. Lizzo and Beyonce. Before I go, Lizzo and Beyonce. Did y'all hear about this? Now, I'm going to play these videos for y'all real quick, and I want y'all to tell me if y'all think that Lizzo dissed Beyonce. Did y'all hear about this? Okay, so y'all heard about everything that's going on with Lizzo. There's a lot of people coming out saying that Lizzo fat shaming them, and she took advantage of them, and hostile work environment, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of things are coming out right now. There's actually more people than the 4 dancers that you know what I'm saying, to have come forward. But people are saying that at Beyonce's concert last night, she skipped over Lizzo's name. Now, I don't know if she done this purposely. I'm going to play y'all these videos, and y'all can sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. I have the 2 videos. I'm going to play them back to back. don't know, players. I think that I don't know, players. I think that people are reaching. I think that she did that because she wanted to say Erykah Badu several times. I don't know if I would say that she did that on purpose. I don't know. But y'all can sound off in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I was going to make a video about that, but I got busy today. So I thought I'd tickle your fancy with it. All right, players. Thank y'all so much for joining me for a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. I just love seeing y'all every single week. Now, remember, next week y'all won't see me because I'm going to be on vacation, but I'll be back the next week. And I'm going to try to do y'all some videos while I'm on vacation, but I can't promise anything. But thank y'all so much in podcasting world for riding and flying with me. Also, you ones at TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube that come and listen to me every single week live. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that y'all have a great night. And make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms so you can keep up with the day-to-day tea. All right, players, y'all have a very good night. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Real Tea with Double D. Remember to support by following on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And subscribe to the website to keep the tea piping hot at blackuratnews.com. That's BLAQURATENEW.